With the expression the years of La Dolce Vita in Italy, we mean the period between the second post-war years and the 70s. It takes its name from the renowned Federico Fellini's film La Dolce Vita. Those years, also called of the Italian economic miracle, correspond to a period of economic and financial development typical in Italy between 1950 and 1963. The political situation, already changed for the passage from the monarchy to the republic, becomes the scene of the most important deeds of Alcide de Gasperi. Under his leadership, Italian government makes three choices that will change the future of the nation: economic freedom, European integration, and the joining to the NATO. Alcide de Gasperi was born in 1881 and he founded the Christian Democrat Party in 1942. He becomes Prime Minister in 1945. He founds a new coalition government with a Socialist Minister Pietro Nenni as Vice President and Togliatti as Justice Minister. In 1946, de Gasperi is invited to visit the United States of America. It's the first time that an Italian Prime Minister makes a journey to the USA. It sanctions the end of isolation in which Italy had been since the end of the war, strengthening de Gasperi's position on the international plan. On the 1st January 1948, the Constitution of the Italian Republic becomes effective. With the Constitution, Italy becomes a democratic and parliamentary republic based on separation of powers. The Christian Democrat Party wins the election of the 1948. De Gasperi must form the government. He creates a minor central-party coalition led by the Christian Democrat Party that occupies all powers position in the state. In 1953, in order to maintain the governmental continuity and to guarantee stability, the Christian Democrat Party asked the parliament to approve a reform of electoral law. This reform will give a majority bonus equal to the 65% of the seats to the party coalition exceeding the 50% plus 1. The centrist coalition missed the aim of the majority bonus for a few thousand votes. The law is immediately abrogated and de Gasperi gives up his political career. The statesman from Trentino dies in Sala di Valsugana on the 19th August 1954. The Italian industrial miracle starts from the deep impulse to overcome poverty, from Italians' courage of working until the exhaustion and the belief that a better life is possible. However, communists don't believe in this miracle, and they say the capitalist system is more flimsy than they think. The most obtuse industrialists say that Italy is poor in raw materials and rich only in manpower. Therefore, the industry is excessively rational and scientific for this country. But the recovery occurs with American capital and the few savings reinvested until the last lira. Near the old family's descendants, there is a new social class, the captains of industry. In the industrial miracle, all that glitters is not gold. Accidents and low wages, greed and narrow-mindedness mingle with an incredible far-sightedness, and while the public banks allocate loans to the politicians' proteges, there are entrepreneurs working hard near their workers and sharing their unsparingness. Adriano Olivetti builds in Pozzuoli a new factory, the first in the south by a private northern enterprise. The workers' life is hard, and at the beginning, in about all factories, there are no days off. Many workers complain about their employers, who are narrow-minded and tell that many small entrepreneurs splash money around and then they skimp on the 10 liras they have to give to the house-to-house worker. During all the decade, the industrial production boosts a lot, setting Italy in the third place after USA and Japan. Not the same occurs for wages. Car production is the most increasing sector, and the merit is of the two Fiat utility cars, the 500 and the 600. The most important innovation of the 50s are the typewriter Olivetti Lettera 22, designed by Marcello Nizzoli and pastel-colored, Mirella, an automatic sewing machine by Necchi, foam rubber, canned foods, the Moplen, the Orlon, and man-made fiber, and supermarkets are invented. The Rinascente is expanded, the Piaggio is reorganized, the Ilva and the Egypt are activated, producing steel and methane. The Italian methane deposits and oil fields are exploited, thanks to Enrico Mattei, the American Sphere Mattei. In 1957, he signs an agreement between the ENI and the Tehran government in order to exploit Iranian all files. So for the energy, as for steel, Italy produces now a third of its needs, thanks to the Roman engineer Oscar Sinigallia's obstinacy and tenacity. Vittorio Valletta manages the Fiat for the Agnelli family and fights on three files: the production, the diplomatic, and the political and trade union one. The Bertazzoni family turns its kitchens and stoves factories to a household appliances enterprise called SMEG, and many other entrepreneurs follow their example, giving birth to companies as the Rex or the Merloni, while Angelo Motta starts producing panettone and ice creams, giving a boost to another entrepreneurs' competition, Alemagna. During the celebration of the 24th Holy Year, a strange thing occurs. Some pilgrims leave Rome to go to Capri, known as Sin Island. There the fight against bikini starts, and girls are fined and obliged to change their dress if caught wearing this type of clothes. Every hint to the sex must be eliminated. Moravia's works are blacklisted, and many other works too. In women's underwear fashion shows, girls model wearing tights, and only 72 of 104 films are authorized by the censorship. Magazines suggest to Italian women using cosmetics and beauty treatments. From Paris, a novelty arrives. Christian Dior takes up the skirt's hem until the knees. Where Kinsey Report arrived in Italy in 1953 is considered the work of a voyeur, and the Italian censorship doesn't mention many words. The champion Fausto Coppi in 1954 leaves his wife for Giulia Occhini, married and mother of 2 children. She wears a white coat and she is immediately nicknamed the White Lady. They are processed and condemned respectively to 2 and 3 months on parole. The sacredness of Catholic marriage is put in doubt. In 1956, Mauro and Loriana Bellandi get married with a civil ceremony in Prato. The majority of the girls of that time identified themselves with Anna, the girl interpreted from Marisa Lasio in the film Girls of Today, a simple girl who wants to study and remains virgin until the day of her marriage. From the Caribbean island of Puerto Rico, another bomb news arrives. In 1956, American biologist Gregory Pincus tests the effectiveness of the first synthetic oral contraceptive, so innovative that remains without a specific name. The pill in Italy can be sold only in 1972. In 1958, Italy is the last country closing houses of pleasure, with the law of the socialist senator Lina Merlin. In a restaurant in Rome, in the Trastevere district in the Rugantino, in a 1958 night, there is all the Roman jet set when a Turkish actress, Ayşe Nana, performs a striptease, showing for the first time a nude breast in a public place. The police intervenes, the restaurant is obliged to close, and the actress is arrested, but her dancing inspires 2 intellectuals sitting in a Via Veneto cafe, Dino De Laurentiis and Federico Fellini. In these years, Italians' entertainments are cinema, radio and theatre, without forgetting the newborn television. With a few levers, people can enjoy new realism, from Miracle in Milan of Zavattini and De Sica to The Cry of Antonioni. Dreaming into the cinema, the theatre, in front of the television, or listening songs, is the food until then denied to the spirit. Cinema industry flourishes. Cinecittà's directors are genius, technicians are competent, scriptwriters are very cultured persons, so that American directors prefer make their film in Rome, where they find the same California light, nice and creative people, and a high professionalism. Neorealism films are low cost because are produced in outdoor locations. One of the most important themes of the neorealism is the difficult communication among fathers and sons. The youth's unhappiness immediately communicates from the screens to the real life, and for this reason, a James Dean film, Rebel Without a Cause, becomes the level of a generation, while Bread, Love and Dreams and Usual Unknowns make people laugh. The cinema is financed by the state, and little by little politics starts to influence it deeply. People need cinema sincerity, represented above all by the neorealism. Fellini in 1960 reproduces that lie, sweet in appearance, merciless in reality of that time, in the film La Dolce Vita, which is criticized at his debut but acclaimed as a masterpiece afterwards. Theatre lives its last golden age. Prose theatre and melodrama draw cultured people, while the review makes laugh. The radio fills solitude, spreads information, and invents parodies and caricatures like the character Mario Pio of Alberto Sordi. Sanremo's festival was born in 1951 and launched many talents as Nila Pizzi and Domenico Modugno, while in January 1954 the television arrives with its quiz shows that give money and fame to people who participate. Communists occupy all intellectual life, linking to political parties, big publishers and writers. The classics at low cost were born and are published by Rizzoli and Mondadori, and Italians can read foreign stories in Italian. In Italy, information is considered a delicate apparatus in service of the power, and many publishers don't want economic profits but political benefits. Sex is a forbidden thought. It is done but it isn't told. During all the decade, the hypocrisy show is ongoing about this kind of arguments. Boys want to find a good wife and a good mother, while girls want to find an honest and good husband. Modern marriage asks the impossible. Nourished by reciprocal love, it has to reach a common task and have the blessing of children. A good girl, when she gets married, is as if she has never seen or known any other boy except his husband. She passed from her parents' hands to those of her husband. The majority of the girls believe in the Prince Charming, but the real life is very different. Everything occurs in the married life is politically correct. Being a mistreated woman is better than being a divorced woman. The shame for the abbreviation NN, a no name, is left on identity cards at the voice paternity until 1956, but even sons born out of the marriage are never protected by the law. The marriage is indissoluble and divorce doesn't exist, but rich and famous people can afford to pay a good lawyer, and so marriages are annulled or people divorce in the ecclesiastical court or in San Marino. We should take example from these poor but happy people who recover and modernize our country instead of acting the way we are used to nowadays.